Welcome back to Heavy Duty, where iron, grit, and history roll on 16 wheels. Today, we're jumping back to an era when trucks were built like fortresses and designed to work all day, every day, without blinking. The spotlight is on the legendary 1984 Mack R Model, a truck that didn't just haul America forward but left deep tire tracks in the story of heavy-duty trucking. This machine wasn't about comfort or flash. It was about business. Tough, loud, dependable business. At first glance, the 1984 R Model doesn't beg for attention, but it demands respect. The design is simple, squared, and unmistakably Mack. That long, flat nose, the rectangular grille, and that bold bulldog hood ornament tell you everything you need to know before the engine even starts. The fenders are built from steel, not plastic. The bumper's as thick as a man's forearm, and the exposed rivets, rigid lines, and utilitarian vibe remind you this truck was built for the road, not for show. You look down the side and you'll see that classic day cab design, tight and functional, often paired with a setback axle. It's a short wheelbase warrior made for maneuverability on job sites and in city streets, especially when pulling dump bodies or short trailers. The fuel tanks are solid aluminum, steps are bolted on steel, and mirrors extend wide with arms thicker than some modern chassis rails. And don't forget the dual vertical exhaust stacks, raw, bold, and ready to bellow. Climb inside and you'll step back into a time when interiors were about work, not luxury. The cab of the R Model is small by today's standards, but it packs everything the driver needed. Vinyl bench seats or basic air ride chairs were common, depending on how well your company treated you. The dashboard is all analog, chrome-rimmed gauges, toggle switches, and warning lights that actually meant something. No touchscreens. No satellite nav. Just a speedometer, tachometer, air pressure, oil, coolant. And if you were lucky, a working AM radio. Visibility from the driver's seat is excellent, thanks to the flat windshield and nearly vertical side windows. The shift lever? Massive. The steering wheel? Bigger than a modern car's tire. Noise insulation was minimal, so the cab filled with engine rumble and wind, but for many truckers, that was part of the experience. Everything felt solid. It was loud, bouncy, and raw. And it was perfect for the job. Under the hood, the 1984 Mack R Model typically housed the Mack E6 or E7 diesel engine, some inline-six variants producing up to 300 horsepower and well over 1,000 lb-ft of torque. That might not sound like much next to today's 600 horsepower haulers, but in 1984, that power, delivered at low RPMs, got the job done day in and day out. You could option it with a Maxidine engine too, known for its broad torque band and fewer shifts required when climbing hills or hauling heavy. The engine was usually paired with a Mach 5-speed or 10-speed manual transmission. Shifting took strength and rhythm. There was no room for lazy driving in an R Model. Clutches were heavy, gearboxes unforgiving, but once mastered, they gave drivers total control over the load. Suspension came courtesy of heavy-duty leaf springs or camelback suspension setups, which meant you felt every bump in the road, but you'd never question the truck's durability. The R Model's performance wasn't about speed, it was about reliability. It could carry loads up to 80,000 pounds all day without complaint, climb steep grades without overheating, and idle in the cold without missing a beat. It was the go-to for construction sites, gravel haulers, and regional freight. You'd find these trucks pulling everything from lowboys to flatbeds to mixers. And many are still running strong today, more than 40 years later. Back then, price tags were a lot simpler too. A new 1984 Mack R Model could be had for around $50,000, depending on spec and configuration. That was serious money, but what you got was a truck that paid for itself in reliability and service life. And if you're lucky enough to find one on the used market today, restored or well-maintained, you're looking at anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 depending on condition. These trucks hold their value because they don't break down. They just wear in. The Mack R Model earned its reputation not through marketing, but through miles. It wasn't the most comfortable, it wasn't the fastest, but it was the truck that showed up every morning, no matter the weather, and got the work done. And that's what made it a legend. It became the backbone of fleets across the country, and for many old-school drivers, it was the first real truck they learned to drive. You didn't just operate an R model, you drove it, wrestled it, and respected it. That kind of truck builds character. And it builds stories. Thanks for riding along with us on Heavy Duty. If you've ever driven a Mack R Model or rode shotgun in one as a kid, we want to hear your stories in the comments. Hit that like button if you still believe trucks should be made of steel, and don't forget to subscribe for more iron-built legends, new and old. Until next time, stay heavy, stay rolling.